Students, in this lecture, we will discuss cephalosporins in journal. Now, where do cephalosporins come from? They are from a fungus, that is Acremonium. These cephalosporins are bactericidal, that is they have ability to kill the bacteria. And you know, the other term is static, that is they will just arrest the growth of the bacteria. Here I am saying these cephalosporins are bactericidal, that is they have ability to kill the bacteria. These cephalosporins are cell wall synthesis inhibitors. They have similar action as that of the penicillin. So you can say that they are structurally and functionally similar to that of the penicillins. Most of the cephalosporins are derived semisynthetically, that is by the addition of a side chain to the 7-amino cephalosporanic acid. We will see this structure in the next slide. Cephalosporins have the same mode of action as that of the penicillins. Penicillins are bacterial cell wall synthesis inhibitors. Similarly, cephalosporins are also the bacterial cell wall synthesis inhibitors. However, these cephalosporins are more resistant than the penicillins to the beta-lactamases. Now, this is the structure of penicillin, and here is the structure of cephalosporin. The penicillin contains the R side chain at position number 6, that is represented here by R1. It has a central beta-lactam ring like that of the cephalosporins. And then we have the thiazolidine ring. Now, what is in case of the cephalosporins? Here we have the R side chain at position number 7, where there will be addition of the certain side chains. Then we have an other side chain that is position number 3, that is represented by R3. Then like penicillin, here we also have beta-lactam ring. Then we have dihydrothiazine ring in it. Now, these cephalosporins are classified into 5 generations. The first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation, and the advanced generation, which is the latest generation of these cephalosporins. In this chapter, you will read the term community-acquired infection. Now, what is community-acquired infection? This is an infection that is encountered from outside the hospital, from the general environment, or this is an infection that is encountered or diagnosed within 48 hours of admission without any previous encounter of the healthcare system or the hospital. Now, how we classify these cephalosporins? As I have already discussed, they are classified into these 5 different generations according to their spectrum of activity. The first generation cephalosporins are more active against the gram-positive bacteria as compared to gram-negative bacteria. No doubt they are targeting both the gram-positive and the negative ones. The second generations are less effective against the gram-positive and more active against the gram-negative bacteria. Then we have the third generation that is again less active against these gram-positive bacteria as compared to the previous generation and more active against or the gram-positive bacteria. So the name of the gram-negative bacteria are increasing as we are increasing the generation, as we are going to the advanced generation. Now, in the previous edition of the book, of the Lippincott, it was written that these are ineffective against MRSA, that is methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, and monocytogenes, C. difficile, and the enterococci. But now in the latest book or in the latest edition of Lippincott, you can see that we have studied a 5th generation, that is the advanced generation, and in the figure it has been clearly written that this is active against MRSA. So same, the author has written in the latest edition, he has skipped the word MRSA. Now he has written these are ineffective against monocytogenes, C. difficile, and the enterococci. So he's saying that now these cephalosporins are more active against the MRSA and those drugs of the cephalosporins are active against MRSA which are under the advanced generation.